Hello, this is Mr. Chabry, and I've got another narrated Pokemon battle for you. So this is the team. I've been wanting to use Mew, and we're going to try it out again this time. I'm also bringing my Garchomp, and I really wanted to use Typhlosion again. It's been a while since I've brought Typhlosion on the team, so that's what we're going to do. Looking at my opponent's team, Greninja's a big threat, and Tapu Koko's a pretty big threat. My opponent really wanted to bring Ash Cat Pikachu. So we're going to see what my opponent wants to do with that. So right off the bat, we're going to lead off with Garchomp, as my opponent's going to lead off with Tapu Koko. So looking at this, I think that it would be best to just go for an Earthquake, because I think Tapu Koko probably does have Dazzling Gleam, but Garchomp, I'm thinking, should live one, as instead of this, Garchomp actually outspeeds the Tapu Koko. So I'm guessing there might be a chance this is more defensive Tapu Koko, maybe more. I'm not sure exactly, but we're going to take it out with a nice Earthquake. And now my opponent's going to bring in the Mimikyu, and as you notice, this is actually a Totem Mimikyu. It's quite larger than the normal Mimikyu. I'm just going to go for a Poison Jab. That way I can break its disguise. And we also get the poison, so that works out very well for me. Of course, we have to break that disguise before we can actually do some damage. And now Mimikyu's just going to go for a Play Rough, and Garchomp actually takes that pretty decently. And Mimikyu's going to get hit with the Rough Skin. And of course, the poison damage is going to bring it down a little bit more. And looking at this, I think Garchomp would be nice to keep alive, so I'm actually just going to swap into my Scizor. There's not really that much that Mimikyu can totally do to Scizor. Scizor has some really nice bulk, and yeah, we have Scizor here. Yeah, Garchomp is such a great Pokemon. Looking at my opponent's team, I think it's probably worth saving. So now my opponent's actually going to bring in his own Scizor, and I'm just going to Mega Evolve here because this is my Mega Scizor. Mega Scizor has beautiful defenses and also pretty good attack too. I'm just going to Swords Dance because I was pretty sure there's not much that Mimikyu can actually do to Mega Scizor. So right now we are at +2, and my opponent actually goes ahead and Mega Evolves his Scizor. So we both have Mega Scizor here on the field. I've got my red Mega Scizor, and my opponent has a green Mega Scizor. So he's just going to Swords Dance here. So now we're both at +2 attack, and I'm going to just U-turn because there's not really a reason to stay in and keep Swords Dancing and letting this thing Swords Dance. I don't really want to play that game, so I'm going to go into Typhlosion. Typhlosion should be able to take a Bullet Punch pretty well, and I can hit this thing pretty hard with an Eruption. So that's what I'm going to do, just go for the Eruption! And we're going to take out this Mega Scizor. So now I don't have to worry about that thing setting up, some Swords Dances. So now Greninja is going to come in, and I'm pretty sure this might be an Ash Greninja, mainly because my opponent's name was Ash, it just made sense. And plus, Ash Greninja is quite popular. I'm going to go into Tapu Fini. This is my special defense wall. This thing can take a lot of hits, and my opponent's actually just going to Hydro Pump, and Tapu Fini, it doesn't care about that. It just laughs. It gets a nice little shower. All it did was just wash its hair, and it's ready to continue battling. So with the leftover recovery, it barely does anything. And now my opponent's going to go into Decidueye, and Moonblast was really the best option here because it was super effective against Greninja, and it hits Decidueye neutrally. So now we've hit this Decidueye, and it actually didn't do that much damage. This might have some decent bulk. I'm going to go into my Mega Scizor because Mega Scizor, like I said, is my physical wall in this battle. And this thing's going to go for a Spirit Shackle. So now Scizor is locked in here. Of course, I can U-turn and still get out, but I think Scizor is actually a pretty nice matchup against this Decidueye. So I'm going to Bullet Punch. It's not quite enough to take it out. And now we're going to take the Sinister Arrow Raid. So now we're going to watch this Decidueye fly up in the air, and have all these arrows fly out of its wings. And now it's just going to bring down an airstrike onto my poor Mega Scizor. Mega Scizor doesn't really care, though, because it's a bulky physical wall. So we take that pretty nicely, and all I have to do is Bullet Punch, And I'm actually just going to Roost, because looking at how much damage that Sinister Arrow Raid did, there's not really much that Decidueye can even do to Mega Scizor. So I'm going to use this as an opportunity to Roost, get some health back, and now it's like that Z move never happened. Mega Scizor is here. My opponent went for a move which didn't really do that much in terms of damage, and I'm just healing back up, and now I can just set up because, like I said, Decidueye cannot do anything to Mega Scizor. Spirit Shackle, Scizor doesn't care, and I am also faster. Here I'm just going to U-turn though, because thinking about it, my opponent still does have some threats that could be a problem, and I'd rather get the misty terrain up so I don't have to worry about, you know, being burnt or anything like that. So that's what I'm going to do there. I didn't want to just, you know, keep setting up with Mega Scizor. It would have been nice to get a Mega Scizor sweep, though. Maybe I should have just went ahead and did that. So now Pikachu's going to come in. Like I said, I don't know exactly what Pikachu wants to do. I'm just going to go Garchomp here, because, like I said, Garchomp's pretty good in this. I'm just going to pop my Z move, and the reason why is if my opponent goes into Mimikyu, I can always Poison Jab the next turn. Mimikyu does not want to take a Poison Jab. So I'm going to just pop my Z move. If my opponent stayed in, Pikachu is going to take a nasty, devastating Drake, but Mimikyu's just going to watch Garchomp glow, and that's it. Garchomp doesn't even try. Garchomp's like, no, I'm not feeling it, fam. So I'm just going to Poison Jab because I basically got this Mimikyu in here, and Mimikyu actually lives that. I was actually expecting it to go down there. Garchomp will go down, though, but it's not that big of a problem because Garchomp takes Mimikyu down with it, and I don't even think Mimikyu was that big of a threat at that point. I could always Bullet Punch with Mega Scizor. Here, I'm going to go back into Typhlosion, and Pikachu's going to come in. I do know my opponent still has the Greninja, and that could be a problem. So I'm actually going to just Nature Power Moonblast, but my opponent actually does not go into Greninja. My opponent stays in with Pikachu. It's going to go for Thunder and not hit my Typhlosion. So Typhlosion looks pretty nice here. Unfortunately for me, my opponent could just go into Greninja and, you know, not worry about much from the Typhlosion. So I'm just going to go Tapu Fini, get the Misty Surge. That way, if it's down to Greninja and Typhlosion, Typhlosion has a chance because this is a Choice Scarfed Typhlosion. So it should outspeed unless the Greninja is packing Water Shuriken, which that's also a possibility. So here we've got Tapu Fini, and looking at that, Tapu Fini took a Thunder from Pikachu. It barely did anything. So that means Tapu Fini feels pretty comfortable in staying in. So I'm just going to Moonblast. And that's what I'm going to do. Just Moonblast, and it hits Greninja, but Greninja has the Sash. I'm not too worried because, as we know, there's nothing Greninja can even do to my Tapu Fini. If I wanted to, I could have probably stayed in earlier with the Mega Scizor, since I had it setting up. I could probably got a Mega Scizor sweep, but I was really wanting to have Typhlosion go for its own Moonblast, because I think that's pretty cool. Typhlosion with Nature Power, Moonblast, you know, the usual stuff. So now I'm just going to keep going Moonblast. There's no reason for me not to. My opponent swaps into Pikachu there, I guess, to give Greninja a chance to attack. I'm not totally sure, because Greninja could have just attacked before. But Aerial Ace, it's not going to do that much because Greninja does not have the best physical attack. And this Moonblast will give us the victory. So if you like this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you in the next Pokemon video.